ಏನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗಳ ದರ್ಬಾರ್ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದು ಈ ಕೊರೋನಾ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಂತೂ.
The corona situation is a new situation, but the parents of private schools in Karnataka have been looted for almost 20 years. See, the Karnataka Education Act of 1995 had got no discrimination between any board affiliation, ICSE, CBSE or anything. And it has got, all the schools were supposed to be part of the Karnataka Education Act. They were all covered under the Karnataka Education Act. But the Karnataka government exempted the ICSE and CBSE schools from the purview of this act in 1998 by bringing in an amendment saying that ICSE and CBSE schools are exempted from this Karnataka Education Act. So from 1998 till 2017, almost 19 years, 20 years, these schools had a free run. They were autonomous. They had absolutely no control over these schools, and these schools have done what they wanted. In 2005, one writ petition was filed by one teacher in the High Court of Karnataka, and in 2011, Justice Nagbhushan has given a very beautiful order where he has quashed the 1998 amendment of the Karnataka Education Act. And he said that these schools will have to come under the Karnataka Education Act. So the amendment of 98 excluding these schools from the purview of the act was quashed, and they were supposed to be included back into the act. He said they are in Karnataka, they are getting subsidized land on lease over here, they are getting electricity at subsidized price, they don't have to pay property taxes, and they are also having a rebate in the electricity charges and all those things. So having so many benefits from the state, how can they not have anything to do with the Karnataka Education Act, and how can they be left free without being under the purview of this act? So in 2011 that judgment was passed, and subsequently after 6 years of dragging their feet, the government has included them into the act by making an amendment in 2017. In 2012 they started the procedure of draft notification. In 2017 they made the final notification amending the Education Act. Yet in that also they have said that the ICSE and CBSE schools are excluded from the purview of this act except for 4 provisions. That is 5A for the security of the children, 48 for the fees, and 112A and 124A, 2 sections for the violation of 5A and 48. Only 4 sections are applicable, and our education minister says that ICSE and CBSE schools, I cannot do anything, I am helpless, they don't come under us, we are only supposed to look into the security of the children in these schools. Our education minister says that. That is wrong. The state has got control over the fee structure of the private schools in Karnataka. Even when they were exempted from the purview of this act, the rules were always applicable to them. The rules formed under the provisions of this act, the 95 rules and 99 rules, they were always applicable, and as per that only tuition fees, term fees and special development fees the schools are supposed to charge. But during that 19 years these people have charged whatever fees they want in whatever name they want, and they had a free run, they were not controlled. And today when they are trying to be controlled and brought back into the act, they have challenged that act in the court and tried to take a stay, and court has categorically said that legislation cannot be stayed by an ordinary writ. I will not give a stay. So what happens after that? These people have now got an undertaking. The government has helped these schools by giving them an undertaking through the additional attorney general in the court, saying that we will not take any coercive action or any precipitatory action against the petitioner schools. The court has said that I will not stay this legislation, it cannot be stayed. But from the government side, to help the schools, they have given an undertaking saying that we will not take any precipitatory action or coercive action against the petitioner schools till this writ petition is not settled off.
How many schools?
Group of association of schools has filed that case. MISA. Okay. That being the case, whenever we are filing any complaints, or even in the present scenario, the government says our hands are tied, go to court, we can't do anything. They have given the undertaking in court that they will not take any precipitatory or coercive action. What is precipitatory and coercive action? Some extreme measures. We are not asking you to take extreme measures. We are not saying take over the management of the school, revoke the NOC, disaffiliate the school, close down the school. Those are all precipitatory and coercive actions. We are not saying that. All we are saying is that these rules apply, as per these rules they are supposed to charge only this type of fees. They are charging fees beyond that in whatever different names. These are violations. As per these violations, whatever you have to take action, please take the necessary action. And what is the action? The government has said that all schools have to display their fee structure on the student achievement tracking system, given them a deadline. They are not putting up. If they are not putting up, why is the government giving them orders to collect the fees? Since the time this COVID has started, the government should have taken policy decisions. They have not done that. What they said first, not to collect fees. Then they said collect fees. Then they said to collect only tuition fees. Then they said collect tuition fees only same as in 2019-20, same as last year, not to collect more. Then on 5th September they said that collect only one term fees. What is one term? It is not defined anywhere in the Education Act. It is not defined anywhere in the Education Rules of 95 or Rules of 99. Nowhere it is there. It only says that you can pay monthly fees or quarterly fees or half yearly fees, or you can pay annual fees. So why the government is not saying pay only 25% tuition fees? The circular of 24th says pay only Bodhana Shulka. So what these schools did, to collect only Bodhana Shulka, all the unlawful fee heads they included into Bodhana Shulka and increased it by 150% and made it Bodhana Shulka, everything tuition fees. So again government came out with another circular. Government circulars are like in sequel format, like Superman Part 1, Superman Part 2, sequel format, like that they come. Once the circular comes, again they are not going to repeatedly say the same thing. It is in further to that, in continuation of that, in extension of that, they will keep on giving additional circulars to deal with the situation. So they said on 24th to take only Bodhana Shulka. When they saw that the schools are doing this, then they said take Bodhana Shulka same as last year. And there is a provision in the Act to increase it by 15% every year. They said not allowed this year. Then they went on to say that collect fees only for one term. When you say collect fees only for one term, school is saying pay all the fees for one term. There is a government circular to pay the fees. No, that means you pay all the fees, not only Bodhana Shulka. That is how they are tackling. And the government says we are helpless. We cannot take any action against the ICSE schools, and they are not within our purview, and we cannot do anything. Now, if you look at the RTE Act, Section 2 defines the government, and Section 2 also defines schools. Section 2A defines the appropriate government, and under that it says that the state government is the appropriate authority, appropriate government, state government. Okay, and Section 2 and 4 defines the private unaided schools. They both come under the purview of the Karnataka, the Right to Education Act of 2009. Then Section 38 of the RTE Act allows the government to frame rules. The legislature of that government, of that state government, can frame rules. So Karnataka legislature has framed rules called Karnataka RTE rules in the year 2012 by the powers conferred under the Section 38 of the RTE Act. And Section 18 of the RTE Act Section 18 of the RTE Act and Rule 11 of the Rules of 2012. These things require the schools to be recognized. The schools of Karnataka have to be recognized under the provisions of the RTE Act and under the provisions of the rules. They have to be recognized by the state. They have to make an application in Form 1. And Form 1 on top clearly says ICSE, CBSE, IGCSE or any board, any affiliated board school has to make an application in Form 1 to the BEO and DDPI asking for recognition. Form 1. And in Form 2 the recognition is given to them subject to certain conditions. In those conditions, the condition 5 very clearly says that the society or school should not collect any capitation fee or voluntary donation from the parents of children at any time, either during admission or during the course of the academic year. The school shall collect only tuition and other fees as approved by the department. The scale of fees shall be notified by the school and displayed prominently in the school premises. This is one of the conditions for giving the recognition to the ICSE and CBSE schools in Karnataka. Then how can the education minister say that I cannot control the fees and let the parents talk with independently with their school managements about the fees? There is a provision that says that subject to this condition, they will be given a recognition certificate.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಓದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಚಿವರು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾನೂನನ್ನು.
And as per this RTE rules, they have got a control over them. This is 2012 rules. 2011 the court order came saying to include the ICSE and CBSE schools within the purview of the Karnataka Act. So in 2012 they started the procedure. By 2017 they notified that and brought them into the Act. So even under that provisions also it is applicable. Even under the RTE provisions also it is applicable. And what does this say? This condition was that only the tuition and other fees as approved by the department. So what is the department approved? The department has only approved tuition fees, term fees and special development fees, and not to take any other fees. This year they have said take only tuition fees. So why the schools are taking all other types of fees, annual fees, building fund, all types of fees they are levying. And they are saying now government orders there to pay for one term and they are charging the full one term fees. And most of the fee payments in any school, there is a student portal, there is a student app. In that you have to go and make the payment of the fees. That app is preloaded with the amount for the full term. You cannot choose only tuition fees over there. So how does one make the payment for only tuition fees? After making the payment for one term, we have sent a letter, an email to the school saying that this fees has been made because payment has been made because there is no other provision to make payment. Okay, so the amount paid can be appropriated only towards the tuition fees for this academic year. We have sent a mail to the school. That's the least we can do. The school does not respond back to us. They do not reply back to us. But we have paid that. And they are required to display their fee structure on SATs. If they are not complying, if the schools are not complying, the government should not give them any further orders to collect any more fees. And the RTE rules also say that whatever the requirements of the government department, education department or of the government, the schools have to comply with that. They are not complying with it. And the violations of these violations, there is a penalty of 10 lakh rupees. They are looting in crores. So this 10 lakh rupees penalty can't be levied by the government on those schools. The government also will get some money from so many schools. They want the 100% additional amount as per the amendment, the school expenditure amount, which was earlier 30% of the salary expenditure. Now it has been made 100% by this amendment. They want that 100% additional amount. But that same amendment says there is a penal clause or there is a violation rule over there that for the violation this action should be taken. They don't want that action to be taken, but they want that 100% additional amount. At least if the court had stayed that also, the amendment, they would have not been able to get that 100% additional amount. They would have to take only the 30% additional amount for the school expenditure. They are taking the 100% additional amount for the school expenditure, but they do not still want to be under the purview of the Act. The schools are violating, the government is not taking any action, parents are suffering, people don't have jobs, people have taken 25% pay cut, 50% pay cut, people have lost their jobs, people don't have money to pay the school fees. The economy worldwide has slowed down. All businesses, all industry, everything has been impacted. School is the only institution which has not been impacted. How is it possible? Schools should also take a fee cut. How can they not be affected? And the parents are willing to pay the salary expenditure of the teachers. They are making the parents as, the culprits not paying the salary of the teachers, like that they are portraying.
Yeah.
We have got data. We have got data that shows on an average in some schools 0 or 1 or 2 teachers have been reduced in the staff by virtue of their service getting over, or because they migrated to another city. 1 or 2 teachers dropping out in every academic year would be normal. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 teachers dropping out would be normal. Okay. So 0 to 1 or 2 kind of teachers in some schools have left. But in some schools, 10% teachers have been removed, in some schools 20% teachers have been removed, in some schools 30% teachers have been removed. And I am not dreaming of this figure and telling you. We have got data for several schools which we have taken out, where an average of 25% of the teachers have been sacked, have been terminated, have left. Now 25 and 30% teachers, average I am saying 25, it is more than 25 also, 30 also, 35 also. So many teachers cannot be leaving school every year. You cannot get so many 30% teachers new in all schools every year. You will not get so many new teachers coming in. Their services have been terminated. When 25% of the teachers have been terminated, what remains is only 75% of the teachers. Those 75% teachers, they are getting only half the salary. That amounts to only 37.5%, and they want 100% pay from the parents. Even if they give 100% pay to the teachers, it is still only 75%, the average. Let them take the teacher's salary. We are not saying we will not pay. Let them take the school expenditure. But all the unlawful charges, the hidden charges, all those things that are put into the expenditure, that has to be removed. Schools have to be audited and their fee structure has to be approved. There has to be parent teachers association in all schools. They don't have that. And a parent teacher association must have a role in the fixation of the fees of that school, because they are directly involved. They know the shortcomings, they know the new investments the school has made, they know what is deserving over there. They should be part of that fee fixation, the parent teacher association. And sadly, either it is not existent in most of the schools, or it is controlled by the school by taking handful of parents whom they want to only nod their head like Chanpatna dolls for everything, whatever the management says. Then those parents are taken in and they got one parent teacher association on paper to show. That's all.